Now called to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Kramer? Mrs. Lane? Here. Mrs. Rich? Mrs. Gallagher? Here. Mr. Kraftcheck?
Here.
Mr. Parsons?
Here.
The meeting is now open. Adequate notice of the meeting was provided by posting a copy of the time and place on the municipal clerk's bulletin board and mailing a copy of same to the press and Cape May County Herald on January 6th, 2018. Will everyone please rise to salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to start today's work session with public safety. Mr. Parzak.
I want to start with a little apology because, you know, I'm thinking about public safety, right? And I know that this is the part of council meetings that I dislike the most, only because everybody has so many things to say, like when we do public works, Grant gets up and talks for half an hour, and Rocky talks for 15 minutes, and then we do natural resources, and Lenore and Josie talk for half an hour, and, you know, or Miranda gets up and talks for 20 minutes. Public safety always seems to go so quickly, and it's like we have nothing to say, and I come to the conclusion it's because if everything's running smoothly, there's nothing to report. So we want to hope that Roger has nothing earth-shattering to say. So we'll start with Mrs. Scott, who I don't, here she comes.
Good afternoon. Again, I really have nothing to tell you.
Here we go.
Everything is running smooth. My part-time help starts next week. We go to court once a week, beginning of July. Anybody wants to come visit a court session, feel free. That way you can see what we actually do during a court session. So, anybody have questions for me?
Thank you. That might have been the quickest. Chief Stanford?
Good afternoon.
Hello,
I
Roger.
have nothing to say. I'll be brief. The report for the fire department for the month of May. We had 28 fire calls, slightly increased from the previous year of May. 38 EMS calls for the month, slightly below the previous year. Everything's still right on track with where we're going. The May calls included 1 cooking fire, 1 boat fire, 1 mulch fire, 1 EMS assist, 1 motor vehicle accident, 5 natural gas leaks, 2 cover assignments, 2 smoke scares, 13 fire alarms, 1 carbon monoxide alarm. So it was a busy month. I do have to report, I think the mayor got a copy of this, the Stone Harbor Fire Department ISO rating, which the ISO is the Insurance Services Office. They come every 3 years and inspect us. It's a national insurance industry risk rating and assessment service inspection, and basically what it does, it sets your rates for your fire insurance. We have improved to a class 3. 1 is the best, 10 is the worst. When I started as chief, we were a 5, and we got down to a 4. Last 3 years ago, I really wanted to be a 3, and we were within a few points, but now we are a 3. So you should see a slight decrease of your fire insurance. Just to give you some stats, we join 3,456 other departments in the nation that have achieved a Class 3 rating. This places us in the top 11% of all fire departments and fire protection districts in the United States. We also join 124 other fire departments in New Jersey that have achieved a Class 3 rating. Just to let you know, the Class 2 rating is only 22 in New Jersey with a Class 2 and only 2 with a Class 1. So my goal is to get to be a 2. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but it's because of the fire department and all the training that's involved and paperwork. From our last report, we took all the deficiencies where we could get more points, and we did that. It's very similar to the CRS program that Jill does. It also could not have been accomplished without the dedicated and professional staff of the Public Works Department. One of our big areas is our hydrant system, our water supply system, and the inspection, maintenance, and testing of our water supply was excellent. So that did help us out a lot with our rating. So that is my report.
Good work.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Roger. I've seen these emails back and forth about the fireboat, sore spot with you. I know you're anxious.
Yeah, I sent Jill a
And-
response email just requesting that if we can to start the legal action. For those who don't know, it's been 2 years since we've ordered that fireboat. Every time we email him and I give him a date, it's yes. The last email I sent was May 1st. We want it by May 1st. He said, it won't be May 1st, but very shortly after. I know Jill's email said July 1st. Now he says, oh, maybe by July 15th. But I think we should need to do something because we can't be another summer. We're already another summer without a fireboat, so.
Well, you won't get it by July 15th
No.
regardless at this point. So, but his promises are getting shorter,
Yeah,
at least evidently. So I don't know what the solicitor thinks of that, but if we should,
What was the original delivery date supposed to be?
within a year.
So it's a year beyond what it was supposed to
And
be.
he has an excuse. I mean, they change facilities, they don't have enough money. It's been a ongoing battle. They're in California, so it's not like I can just drive up there and see what the progress is. We ask for pictures. He sends us pictures of, of the pump. I mean, it's,
Okay.
so I would ask that we proceed. I mean, the worst can happen is we get our boat.
right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Let's see what action we can take as a borough. So,
Okay.
I've already sent everything to Mark, he's been.
so, and if nothing else, let's get our money back and order another boat. Let's do something.
I think the odds of that happening are
Yeah. So,
not very good. Congratulations. Thanks again, Roger.
Good afternoon. Sir, I'm not going to let you down. It's going to be quick. The monthly report for May for the police department, there were 217 motor vehicle stops and 4 adults were arrested. During the month of May, we increased our patrol presence on the beaches and our marine patrols. In terms of personnel, there's not really much to report. We still have recruits in the police academy that will graduate at the end of the month. However, we did lose 1 recruit from the training academy due to a full-time job that he went to another department. So we will hopefully graduate 4 at the end of the month. In terms of a building update, as I've said before, all seems to be moving along fine. We met with the decorating committee earlier in the month of May and decided on various color selections of tile, carpet, furnishings, things like that. There's only a few minor things that still need to be selected. There are things such as blinds, gun lockers, corner molding, and doormats. Otherwise, everything seems to be coming along fine. And that's my report.
Good.
Some of the things, we have a public safety meeting next week, and some of the things we've talked about in the past are the drone ordinance, which you've heard me talk about, your camera requirements, which I assume you and Captain Palmer are still working on
Yes,
throughout the
we're waiting on a quote.
borough.
We met with a representative on May 17th,
Mhm.
and they're supposed to supply us with a quote.
And the drone ordinance, Jill, is in some,
I've received comments back from Mark's office, so I have to
Okay.
tweak that so we can review that at our meeting and hopefully move forward with it.
the all-walk signs at 96th and 3rd, is that still with the county?
Still,
You haven't heard back from them? I guess that's it. Okay, thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
I think, just 1 second, Chief. This question with it, because those all walk signs seems to come up maybe like every 5, 6 years. And then somebody made the suggestion, actually it was Mrs. Kramer. Do you think it would make a difference to have a Class 1 station there at peak hours in the morning and at night?
We don't
More
actually-
so even than the all walk, just throw it out there.
We don't actually have them stationed there, but periodically throughout the day, they are in and around that Reed's area. They monitor that area to make sure things are okay. And I haven't heard anything of a problem with
Yeah,
them, but you know what I mean?
I try to pay a lot of attention to that since we started this conversation, and that is an amazing intersection. They just walk. People just,
Right.
they just walk. So
Right.
I don't know what kind of signs are.
Because the signage is there, they're not
There.
following it.
Red
So if
lights,
you put
green
all
lights.
walk, are they gonna follow that?
You know?
Because the sign's saying, don't walk, and they're walking.
So I know Mantora has said before that, well, it worked at Penn State, but we have people, you know, once a week or every 2 weeks they're here. The Penn State students were there for 9 months and they figured it out, you know, but when we have this turnover like we have in this town, it's pretty amazing. You just have to be so careful driving through that intersection.
True, and I wish New Jersey, and you're the proper one to take it further, would do what Maine does. Because this yield to the jet streams in a crosswalk has become extremely dangerous because people walk out and never even look. They just think you're gonna stop automatically. In Maine, they have on the street in front of the crosswalk, stop, wave, walk. So they put some of the onus back on the pedestrian, because I find bicyclists now think they're pedestrians, and they jump right out in front of you at an intersection. So
Yeah.
it's a hazard all the way around, so it's something public safety can take up.
The ones I worry most about are the babies in the carriages. Because mothers know that we're not going to hit that carriage, but they go zooming out, and those kids are at peril.
Nobody's watching any of the signs. Good luck.
Sandy?
Good afternoon. As I'm sure you've noticed, the beaches have become considerably more crowded in the last week, becoming more like summer. Everything is going well. We haven't had any rescues or any lost children. We had 2 incidents where we had to call the police, and everything was resolved, and we greatly appreciate their support. Our returning guards have requalified in their mile run and their half-mile ocean swim, and we're currently training 16 new lifeguards, and we should be in full force within the next week. And that's my report. We're looking forward to another safe and successful summer.
How's the new stands?
They like them.
Do they?
Lighter. There's a little more room. There's more room for the gear and the people, and they hold the umbrella. They're working out well.
Are they? Good.
Yeah.
And I guess you heard how popular the old stands were?
Yes. We've had dozens of calls over there inquiring
Still,
about.
with them all gone, they still want them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you.
And our OEM Director.
Good afternoon. A few things to pass. On June 13th, I participated in an E-Teams exercise with the State and County Office of Emergency Management. They have successfully migrated the county servers over to the state. So now whenever we need to do resource requests or open the shelter or anything like that, I can do it all right from my laptop. It's very easy, and we had an exercise on that last week. Didn't have any problems. I did get the information to Jill. I believe it will go towards our community rating. The Jonas Grant, as you know, has been approved. That process is moving forward. As of right now, no permits have been pulled with the construction office, but I do believe that at least 3, possibly 4 applicants appear to be aggressively moving forward. I think sometimes the devil is in the details with these things, and once people really do some research, I wouldn't be surprised if we have some of those folks opt out. The biggest bone of contention appears to be the deed restriction on the properties. So I think long-term, when people start to weigh those things out, they might, reconsider.
How much of the cost is covered?
For SRL properties, I believe it's 90%. RL properties, a little bit less. And then
Okay.
just regular properties, it's 75%. It's a huge reimbursement, but it is a fairly complex process. There are a lot of moving parts to it. when we had the kickoff meeting in Sea Isle last month, the biggest concern honestly was about the flood insurance. People don't understand why they have to carry flood insurance on a home that they just raised up that they know is probably never going to flood. So that's, and it is a deed restriction, so it's on the land, not necessarily the structure. So those were the biggest questions that were asked. The 2016 FMA grant has been approved. We just were notified of that. We have 3 properties. On those 3 properties, there's actually a total of 4 structures. So there will be a kickoff meeting for that coming shortly. I'm just waiting to hear back from Tetra Tech when that will be, and we'll move forward on that. So far, preliminarily, the 2017 FMA grant that we applied for has been denied. My understanding is that we have filed an appeal. The county has filed an appeal with state OEM on that. So we still haven't heard the official, it's not going to happen. Now, you recall this was the one where homeowners had to pay an application fee. So we'll just kind of address that when we get a final determination on how the borough wants to move forward with that. Finally, June 1st, hurricane season has begun. They are predicting with 70% certainty 10 to 16 named storms, of which 5 to 9 will form hurricanes, and of those 5 to 9, 1 to 4 will be major storms. It's pretty much in line with last year. Not predicting anything too crazy, so just kind of keep our fingers crossed. That's it.
Anything else?
Are you going to be here for the severe weather?
Yes.
What's the word I'm looking for? Not party, the severe weather seminar. Seminar, okay. July 25th, correct? Wednesday, July 25th.
I will be here.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So Mayor, there you have it, 5 departments in 15 minutes.
Wow, you're something, Mr. Porzick. Recreation and tourism.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, head is spinning. So you ready with your pencils to save all these dates? In the next 2 weeks, I'm just going to give you a rundown of everything happening in town, because there's a lot of applications for special events that you've passed so long ago, so I just want to bring you up to speed because they're upon us. So June 23rd and 24th, this coming Saturday and Sunday, we have our second annual spring pickleball tournament. Monday, all of the recreation programs kick off, such as like the arts and crafts, the youth sports clinics, the basketball league. June 30th and July 1st, we have the USDA tennis tournament at 96th Street. Then Sunday, July 1st, we have the Harbor Hustle 5K. Monday, July 2nd, we have our fireworks. So 7:30 to 9:30 on the 95th Street Beach Pavilion, we have the Jazz and Blues concert, and then the fireworks at about 9:30 p.m. And then the rain date will be Tuesday, July 3rd. And again, they're being shot off of a barge, so you can view the fireworks from any beach end. Then on Wednesday, July 4th, we have our annual races and contests down at the 80th Street Rec Fields with the Phillies Home Run Derby. Sunday, July 8th, we have the Stone Harbor Fitness Challenge and 5K. Monday, July 9th, we have the 56th Annual Stone Harbor Al Canard Baby Parade. Then Tuesdays at the Tower Concert Series kicks off on July 10th. And that's just the first 2 weeks. So most days we have something. So that's the quick rundown. And that's all I have.
Poor Miranda.
'Tis the season. We're all in it together. We're all inundated. So I just appreciate Public Works especially, and all of you and everybody's support, PD, because it's a group effort. I can't do it alone. So thank you all for your support.
And our 4th of July, there's no vendors this year, correct? We didn't change anything with that.
Not on the 2nd, not the Independence Day celebration.
Right, not the
on
actual
2nd.
fireworks, I mean.
Right, but the
Okay,
stuff at the field, we did open that up for food vending,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
And then at 4:30, thank you for letting me, thank you for recognizing the efforts for the pickleball ambassadors. So that'll be at 4:30. So I'll have a spiel and a little slideshow
Okay,
to do at that point.
okay.
Thank you.
Natural resources?
Okay, we have a presentation on the single-use bags. As you recall, we already had the discussion, and council was favorable with bringing back an ordinance. I handed in your packet the presentation. I also gave you a list of the recommendations from the Go Green Committee. I'll run over those real quick. They had agreed originally to adopt the sample from Folly Beach, but the actual ordinance that we're bringing forward is another one that, when I was researching it, I felt it was a little more aggressive, and, we'll go over that in the presentation. Their recommendation was to eliminate the plastic bags, the styrofoam, glass containers, and the balloons on the beach entirely. We already have an ordinance that says no balloons, but we wanted to add those things. Enforcement on the beach, they felt that this may need to be done through public safety, possibly the hiring of additional employees to be the green police. The suggestion was made, if the ordinance goes through, that we can have our beach taggers wear pins maybe with our Go Green logo, with a trash bag with the red signal with the cross saying no trash bags, no plastic bags. They recommended the elimination of the plastic bags within the business district entirely, and impose substantial fines for any business that would use the plastic bags. They suggested that we meet with the chamber and the business owners, suggesting that they do buy reusable bags. That could include maybe their business name, and if they purchase them in bulk and uniform throughout the business district, pricing could be cheaper, and they suggested that we research any type of grant funding out there that could help with the cost. They suggested we have regulations on eliminating the use of the plastic bags, and again, with the business registration, giving that information out. They felt we needed to update our signs at the beach ends to include the new regulations for no plastic bags, styrofoam, or straws. We would need the budget for this in 2019. They felt that we should be getting the information out that you bring it, you take it. And then suggestion of a Coroplast sign to be included in our kiosk within the business district, advising visitors of these regulations. One of the other things to think about as we go through the discussion is that under Sustainable Jersey, we'd asked Kim to go through and identify certain areas where we would actually be able to get additional points for that. So I gave you the list of possible there. And as you can see, there's 10 possible, and there may be more out there. This was a quick review that she did on that, so, I mean, that's pretty good that we would be able to get additional points. All right, with that.
Would you get 10 additional points for every single one? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, yeah, most of them are 10. The very last one is you can get for bag education 5 points, and then under recycling and waste reduction, education, and compliance, you could possibly get 15 points. So, yeah, there's significant amount there. All right, now, you guys might want to move because it'll be right in your face. Sorry. see it? Okay, so it's a little hard to see the writing in blue, but basically, we're going to have the discussion on an ordinance introduction to eliminate the use of the polystyrene, plastic foam, and single-use plastic products and other non-locally recyclable and non-properly compostable food packaging in order to protect the marine life